Well, they're showing like the show. Like honestly, the show's like all truth, like of what actually happens in the sports industry.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
with like nagging injuries that people are gonna have for the rest of their lives, and then like they have to like cope to it with
yeah,
drugs, like because like what else are you gonna do?
yeah. I feel like
Or what else? They don't know what else to do.
Some shit that's considered legendary.
What is going on, you variety loving people? I hope you're ready to add some spice to your day. Welcome back to Secret Spice of Life. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. I hope you brought your friends from the NCAA and the People's Champ, aka The Rock, because today we are reviewing Ballers Season 4. So if you guys don't know what Ballers is, I would suggest stopping this now and go watch it, because I don't watch a lot of TV, like, ever, and Ballers is the one thing that I take, like, time out of my day to watch. Like, I mean, I obviously have to catch up because I don't watch it when it actually airs, but I don't take time to watch anything on TV, so just definitely suggest this. Ballers is just basically, The Rock is, like, a sports agent, and there's, like, Ricky Jared, who's, like, the wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins at the time of when it starts. I believe he gets, like,
it kind of just like most of the main characters are just like either sports agents or they work in teams like front office,
like GM and stuff like that. Yeah, but
like that's most of the main characters, and then they'll have like fill-ins with like popular NFL.
Yeah, they'll have
stars
like
and
Terrell
stuff.
Suggs on there. They had Goff in the previous season for the Rams.
Antonio Brown was on an episode.
Yeah,
like,
I
they
think
have,
in the
like,
one
a
that
lot
really
of
early
stars.
seasons. Yeah. But yeah, it's season 4 now. But if you haven't watched it, definitely go check it out before you listen to this, because there are going to be spoilers. But just to like kind of get into it, it kicks off with The Rock and like going to LA because, well, he kind of had an excuse to go to LA because what's his name? I wrote it down. Joe. Rob Corddry.
Yeah.
He's everybody knows who Rob Corddry is. He's in Hot Tub Time Machine and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
He's a funny
guy. Yeah. But he's even hilarious in this. But he's like basically the Rock's sidekick, kind of. But he has like a business venture in LA, and he convinces The Rock to go with him. So like the whole season's based in LA.
Mm-hmm.
But The Rock kind of used that as an excuse to go visit Jason, which is the other agent that's their friend.
Yeah.
He said he had a prospect for a high school quarterback in the college that he said he wanted him to go look at, but he said don't like interfere with him, like don't do anything dirty with him, like get him like in trouble or anything like that. But
you know what happens.
Yeah. And so he kind of used that as an excuse, and then The Rock gets caught up in like a love affair with his Q's mom, and then he gets like kind of tied into like the whole ordeal. But and then Charles gets thrown over there because he ends up becoming the GM of the Rams, which kind of just came out of nowhere. Like, I don't even know how he built up.
He was working as the assistant with the Dolphins for a while.
Yeah,
in the first couple seasons, and then he got fired.
He was trying to play for a little bit, and then he retired in the earlier seasons, right?
Yeah.
And then
that's when he got hired. The Dolphins brought him on as the assistant GM or some kind of assistant to the general manager.
Yeah, and then
I think he got fired, or did he get offered the job?
I think he got offered the
Rams
job
when
at
he
the
was their
Rams.
assistant,
I think that's like the first person who moved to LA, because I think he moved in an earlier season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I think he moved in season 3,
like in the middle of season 3, like before before the end, like before they moved to LA.
Yeah, and then Ricky Jared moves to LA to retire because he's done with football.
Well, he had concussions or something.
Yeah, something, and he's just moving there to buy a house with like his wife or girlfriend or whatever she is, and then like his dad and his friend.
Yeah.
But that's basically why he's moving out there, and then he ends up trying to get back in the football because he's bored. Mm-hmm. And he tries to get in with like the Rams.
Yeah, but the first tryout doesn't go well.
As well as they thought, or as well as he thought.
Oh, well, we don't want to be giving stuff away here, though.
It's spoilers.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but I wrote that in my notes. He's on the juice. He
Oh, okay.
he turns to steroids
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he can't compete with what's the other dude's name that he's like actually competing with?
I don't even know what his name is for real, because he's on the end like 20 minutes of the whole season. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, exactly. The end and then like the very beginning.
Yeah, part of an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, like, yeah, Ricky is obviously he like tells the general manager that he's he's juiced up.
he tells Charles, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is that Ricky Jared was actually hitting it off with Goff.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah, the
Well,
quarterback.
that's why the Rams wanted him.
That's why the
They said
Rams
that-
wanted him, because they had good chemistry together. They
Yeah.
both enjoyed Harry Potter, if I remember correctly.
Ricky told Jared Goff that you should come over and we could watch Harry Potter one day or
Yeah.
something. He's like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, and that's why Charles kind of favored Ricky Jared over the other guy, because the other guy wanted to become a running back too. He didn't want to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, he wanted. It's
Yeah.
like the Le'Veon Bell situation. He
Yeah.
wanted to be paid as a wide receiver and a running back.
Yeah,
And yeah.
but basically when he told Charles that he was on like the juice, he basically got overshadowed. What was that, like NFL
What?
like showcase day or whatever for like new signings?
It was just like a press conference for
Yeah.
free agent signing. Or
Yeah.
whatever. But like Ricky thought it was for him, and then
Yeah, it's like press day or whatever.
yeah, they like backstabbed
Mhm.
him
Yeah,
and
he
signed the other guy
Mhm.
instead. Like he thought he was getting called up on stage, then they called the other guy's name and screwed him over.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is like the right direction for the Ballers to go in, because they're trying to make Ricky Jared as like a Kaepernick character, where he's kind of the
I know
Black
what you mean.
Lives movement or whatever, like kneeling to the flag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's like, because I was reading a bunch of stuff, and I think you may have told me this too, and something you were reading right after we watched the last episode. We started doing like a little bit of research on like what everything meant.
Oh yeah,
And-
the movie that they reference at the end.
Yeah, because Joe, he why they went to LA, he opened like his skate, or he went and like invested in his friend's skate shop, Russell Brand.
Yeah.
I don't remember his
Russell
character.
Brand owns the agency that they end up taking over.
Yeah, for the skate or
Yeah.
surf thing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're the media company or whatever,
Yeah. They
and
end
a
up
media
buying that
agency
from
or
him.
whatever. Yeah, but they end up getting a deal with Nike or whatever, and they said that they were going to use that deal with Nike to turn Ricky Jared into like a Kaepernick type character.
Yeah. I think I think they said those exact words
Yeah.
actually. At the
Uh-huh.
end.
Which I mean, it's already happened in real life. Why would you want to have it in Ballers? Like, I don't know.
And just
That's
something to
and
go off
and
of,
that
I guess.
I like we said before, we're not like a fan of politics, and I feel like that brings politics into it too much.
I don't know.
I kind of like just like the original storyline, but
I mean, they have to go somewhere else with it. Though. I mean, like
Uh.
that's why they're bringing the NCAA into it now. Though.
yeah,
Like instead of just having a one-dimensional show just about NFL stars, they're
yeah.
bringing like college into it now and bringing that. Like,
And they're bringing like
business
the
aspect
extreme
in.
sports and stuff into it now too.
Yeah,
with
like different
skating and
sports
surfing and stuff like
now.
that.
Yeah, like more extreme sports. So
Mhm.
yes.
But they like also at the end of the season, The Rock like sells his part of the business back to Joe, so Joe
No,
owns
because
like
he
the
said
whole
he,
thing.
he doesn't want to
Yeah.
like tarnish the name of their agency with the lawsuit with the NCAA.
Yeah, because and then at the very end, there's like a cut scene after everything like goes blank, and Joe is like asking Russell Brand to like come back into business with him
Oh, yeah,
because he
yeah,
doesn't know
true.
what to do,
Yeah.
and they were talking about doing shrooms or whatever, but I just thought I mean I understand why Joe did it, but I always see Joe as like the number 2 man. He's not like a number 1 man. He doesn't know how to like lead like a full organization by himself.
Well, I mean, he kind of did though. Like,
And
at
he
the
did for
end
like a
of the
little bit.
season.
But oh yeah, the other thing is what's her name? The old lady who's their accountant left. She didn't come to work for the first time in 30 years or whatever he said.
I didn't even notice that. When
Yeah,
that
it
happened.
happened like in the very last episode, like the last like 10 or 15
Oh, I
minutes.
didn't
It was
know-
like
I
something
didn't-
small that they slipped in there
didn't
that I
even know
noticed.
that. Huh. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I know where they're kind of going. They're gonna go away from the NFL. I feel like in the next
Yeah.
season, it's gonna be
Mhm.
more about college football.
Yeah,
and
because that's what the
this
whole
season 5.
premise of The Rock is about getting revenge for his brother or
Yeah,
whatever.
but like I don't know if they're I mean I'm guessing they'll keep the show like it's gonna be like a split thing though. No, like The Rock's gonna have his own part of the show, and then Joe's gonna have his own.
Yeah, they said well, something I read is that they set the season up so the rest of their seasons doesn't have to go with the rest of the storyline. They said they can, because kind of this kind of just picked up in LA, like they kind of showed them go to LA, but they didn't really explain
Didn't
like
the last season
lot.
end with him going to get his back surgery, and that's
Yeah,
all it
yeah,
ended?
yeah. That's
It
exactly
didn't
how it
show him
ended.
actually going to LA. I don't
Yeah,
think.
no. Yeah, it ended with him walking into the room to go get his back surgery or whatever.
And then it started with them in LA the next season.
Yeah, well, they said, he said, hey, I have a business adventure. He's like, or venture. He said, I know you don't want to go in LA, and he's like, yeah, I have like a lot of problems there or whatever. But he ends up like talking him into going there or whatever. But yeah, they didn't really have like a lot of backstory to like why they were going there. They just kind of like made it pick up there. But that's what somebody mentioned in like a review I was reading. They said that they kind of set that up for the rest of the series to be that they can pick it up wherever they want. They don't have to, like, I feel like I'll mention that in my predictions as well, but I think they're gonna have like a time skip to like later when they pick back up. Like they had a cliffhanger, but I feel like they're gonna have a time skip.
I don't know. Like I don't think they could. The way I see it, I don't think they can skip time.
You don't think so?
No, because that lawsuit with the NCAA has to be like sorted out. They're not just gonna go to
Yeah, but you know how
it's
long
done.
lawsuits carry out for?
Yeah, but still, I mean, like the whole point of the last like couple episodes was him getting that,
Yeah, I guess, but
like getting into that battle with them. So I don't think they're just gonna completely.
but I
skip
feel like
over it
a
now.
lawsuit with the NCAA would carry out for several years.
Oh, probably, but it'd probably go on until. Well, I mean, well, wait. We're not even sure that he's still having the lawsuit, to be honest, because he's like apparently went through with the deal that the guy gave him.
No. I read about that. We were wrong.
But they said Q isn't playing in college unless you drop the lawsuit, and he ended up making his decision where he's signing. So you're assuming that he dropped the lawsuit.
Well, no, because they said sorry to hear about your friend Spencer to Joe, or Russell Brand said that to Joe, I think, at his party, and he said, yeah, me too, which means I think that he was like still going through with it, even though it's like a losing situation.
I guess. I mean, I don't know though. Like, cause he was suspended though. Like Q would have been ineligible for his freshman season if he didn't, or ineligible from football overall. Like forever.
But The Rock made a good point that he said, he told them, but they like offered him, hey, you dropped the lawsuit, we'll reinstate Q as eligibility, and he said, how about this? He said, you reinstate Q's eligibility, pay the players. And then they said no chance. He's like, well, you can go fuck yourself or whatever then. And he left. But I think that they reinstated his eligibility because they didn't want anything to like have to sweep under the rug or anything, like any loose ends.
They might have. I mean, like they might have just did it because, well, The Rock told them. He said, if you don't reinstate him, then you know how much money you're losing.
Oh,
without him on the field. Like,
exactly.
So they might have just caved and
for the money.
let him play.
Yeah. But
but that's like one cliffhanger, like, cause they never told you what actually happened in the rest of that meeting after that.
Oh yeah. They did. Well, I thought he left. I thought he just like left.
Well, I mean, they just left it. Like they didn't say what the decision was or anything until you saw him on the TV make his college decision.
Yeah.
But then he didn't make the decision from the schools that actually still wanted him.
Yeah, he just went to work.
He went to USC still, and apparently still has his TV deal on the table.
Yeah, they said it's still there. That's what I was reading in the reviews too. That
so
they said that nothing ever happened with
his
it.
money, though.
Yeah, he'll make his money. Yeah, but do you think? This is like kind of just a question for you, but do you think that this actually happens in like college football, where there's like 30 players who like take TV deals to get to certain schools?
Yeah, I don't know about the TV deal thing, but there's definitely players in like all college sports that get gifts and stuff from recruiters. Like they'll buy them cars or
do they actually get like money? Like you think?
I'm sure there is. There's definitely dirty. Like there's colleges that get caught doing that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I remember who was it more recently? Louisville? Didn't they get in trouble?
Get caught for like that. Well, I think they might have got caught for paying one of their recruits.
Yeah.
And then they get in trouble with all that like stuff where apparently Rick Pitino, or like I don't know if the recruiters or whatever brought like strippers in and stuff.
Oh yeah. Players. I wouldn't put it past them. But yeah. I mean, I feel like college athletes should get paid like a little bit or something like that. Maybe. I mean, you are getting an education for free, but they're also not using that education because even the kid from USC, remember, he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, the education's great." He's like, "But I wouldn't know anything about that because I have somebody do all my homework or whatever." He like kind of.
I mean, like most of the guys that like make the money for the colleges and stuff through the sports,
Mhm.
like they're gonna be there 1 year. Or
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like for football, I guess it's longer because you have to stay 3 years. I think if you go to college.
Yeah, because we talked about this before. We said that you're wasting money on players that aren't gonna have all 4 years. Or you're
They
losing
never
college's
graduate.
money.
So like that's what they said with like John Calipari at Kentucky with
Mhm.
basketball, that Kentucky's lost so much money over giving
Oh, yeah.
scholarships to players
Mhm.
because they only stay for 1 year and
Yeah.
leave and go to the NBA.
Yeah, and you're also missing out on giving somebody who's actually going to be there for all 4 years,
Yeah.
like giving them that money, too. So I don't know, but I don't understand why I can't just give them a 1 year scholarship, and if they
Yeah,
leave,
well, I
it doesn't
mean,
hurt
like,
you,
I don't know.
and then if they stay, they can just give them more, can't they? Isn't that like you can extend somebody's scholarship? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know how they. I don't even know how that works.
Yeah,
to be
I'm not
honest.
sure, but I'm sure they could give them for something. They could say, "Oh, you did this, so we're gonna slide you some money." Like.
I don't know. I mean, like I don't know if they can do anything like that though, because
Mhm.
I'm assuming when those guys come in, that they just say like, we're giving you a full ride.
Yeah.
So they just put like the tuition money down that it would take for them for 4 years.
Yeah, I agree. But another thing that I saw mentioned in the reviews that I was reading, they said that they cut the ties from like the end. I mean, not completely, but they still have like obviously Charles is like the GM and Ricky Jared in the NFL and stuff like that. Like these smaller side storylines.
Mhm.
But they said they're trying to cut the ties with like the NFL and stuff to branch off because they're running out of material for that. Like they don't have any more like original ideas.
Well, that's why they moved. I think that's why they brought the NCAA thing in
Yeah.
this season, so they
Mhm.
could branch off, and then they brought the other like smaller sports into it too.
Yeah, like the extreme sports.
Extreme sports, yeah. But yeah, because they were definitely like, you could tell they were like running low on ideas for the NFL though, because the first couple
Mhm.
of seasons were all about them like signing athletes and stuff to sports agencies,
Yeah.
and then like just I mean they don't really show games like for anything, like they don't show the players playing or anything really.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like the business aspect
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
sports.
I mean, I kind of like that though. It's,
Yeah, I know.
It's like a
cool.
fresh.
It's like behind the scenes, pretty
Yeah.
much, of like what agents and like sports organizations go through to
Mhm.
like in their business.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting how they kind of tied Vernon and Reggie into it too. Like Vernon's always like investing his money into
Yeah.
something, either losing a bunch of money or like getting a bunch. And Reggie's like Joe's financial manager now because he
Mhm.
has like all Vernon's money to
Yeah.
like spend on stuff. But they like how I mentioned before, they have that deal with Nike now with those like kids.
Yeah, the skaters.
The skater
Or,
kids.
they I don't know. They're like I don't know. They're skaters, but they like beat the crap out of each other. It's like
Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah, it's like
kinda.
Jackass, yeah. But and then what was I gonna say? I have some here. Oh, do you think with Spencer actually suing the NCAA that he has a liable cause of actually winning like his suit? Because they countersued him too, so he's kind of in shit.
I don't know. You'd like never. I don't know if like in real life you'd probably never win.
Well, with his
against
case,
them, to
do you
be
think
honest.
that like because his case is basically that the NCAA killed his brother because they didn't
they took
allow
his
him to have his
scholarship
fifth
away
year.
from
Yeah, they
him.
didn't allow his fifth year
Oh,
of
yeah, that's right, they took his
eligibility,
eligibility away,
because
so-
he got injured
Yeah.
his like senior year or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he had to deal with like the pain through painkillers, which got him addicted to, which caused him to die.
Yeah.
So like he's just basically blaming the NFL or the NCAA to they killed his brother basically. I mean, do you think that's like actually a plausible?
Probably not.
You don't
I
think
mean, like,
so?
unless at some point that you get like get them on so much like dirty stuff that they just end up caving in and like what's it called, settling like with some type of money or
Mhm.
whatever. Like that's the only way you'd probably ever win or get any money from the NCAA. You probably wouldn't actually win, but they'd settle and give you like money
Yeah.
compensation for whatever happened. But I don't know if like in that situation like that you could actually prove that they did anything wrong.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what really like just blew my mind about that shit. I mean, It probably okay. Well, one thing, it kind of just like completely shits on the NCAA. Like shows like everything dirty that they probably actually do.
Well, they do definitely do all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
what he
probably.
accuses them of.
But when he went to visit Ohio State, The Rock did, and he told them that Q wasn't going there. And then when on his way home, he
They
got pulled
arrested
over
him.
for like drug possession or whatever.
Yeah.
He uses like painkillers, but he
Yeah.
said he has prescriptions for them, which I don't
Oh,
think he does.
they made Ohio State look bad.
The idea.
Oh
Oh yeah,
my
that's what.
God.
On one of the reviews, or I think it was like a tweet I saw actually on one of the reviews. It said, "I don't mind that they basically took a shit on Ohio State." He said, "But I know a bunch of their football players aren't too happy about this." I was
What are
like,
they gonna do?
what? I was like, they actually took that to like heart.
I said, well, what are they gonna do anyway?
Yeah, it's just like a show.
The Rock makes more money than
Oh yeah,
than that whole freaking like school
cool.
does.
Yeah, for sure. but I didn't. I mean, I still think at the end of the day, it's still a show.
Well, I mean, like he's kind of telling the truth though. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing you could like.
But do you think the
you can't sue
Ohio
him
State's
for
actually dirty
doing-
though?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh my god. All those big schools are
You
dude.
think?
You know they do stuff. I guarantee you Alabama's dirty as hell.
Oh,
Like
you
Duke,
think
Duke in basketball, guaranteed.
Kentucky and
Yeah.
basketball.
Well, Louisville already got caught for
Yeah.
shit.
And they're not even that good. They're like, all
No,
right.
yeah. I don't know. But
I think
like,
Penn State's dirty. Yeah, I'll take that as a yes.
I'm done. I don't know. But like I guarantee you all those big schools have done stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Like
Yeah.
even if it's not considered like completely cheating, like there's stuff that they do that's like unwritten rules or something probably that you're
yeah.
not allowed or not supposed to be doing that they do.
I
They
think-
find ways to walk on the edge.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they have like all their lawyers for the school. Like they have probably hire like big time lawyers. Hey, look at like all these guguidelines to figure out what we can get away with
Yeah, guaranteed.
without people like,
Like
noticing.
all schools do it probably.
Yeah. Like a big thing that I remember like way back. This is like LeBron. Remember when he was in high school? People said he's accepting money,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like this kind of brings us into our promo for the episode, which is the Honesty Check podcast, which is hosted by Sonia and Adina. Basically, they're two best friends that give their opinions on a bunch of different topics, this, that, and the other. But they also, the reason I put them in this is because on their Patreon specifically, they do movie and TV show reviews, which I actually didn't know till today when I asked them about it. And so definitely go check out their Patreon and donate to that while you're there. But you can also find their other podcast episodes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and every other hosting service. Their social media, they're at Honesty Check Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And check out their promo now.
Hi, I'm Sonia,
Hi, I'm Adina.
and we have a new podcast called Honesty Check. The premise of our podcast is we use our knowledge that we have of each other as best friends to glean our most honest opinions about a variety of topics. And by a variety of topics, we mean literally everything under the sun. We could talk about our bodies, or what else, Adina?
Haunted antique malls.
Or anything. So join us and check out and see our valid opinions and our garbage opinions. Come and join us for Honesty Check. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're back. What happened today? Oh, our blog went up. That's what it was.
Yeah, new blog post.
Yeah. So after you check out the Honesty podcast, make sure you check out our blog. It was part 9 of the Peace, Love, and Positivity, or Peace, Love, and Positive
Positive
Lifestyle. Yeah. And make sure you go check that out. Should we just tell them now about what's coming in November? Because
yeah,
I mentioned it on Twitter yesterday. I said big things are coming in November. So basically for November, we plan on doing a challenge calendar, which we will put up the 31st, because that'll be when the blogs due. And November 1st is the next day. So the 31st, but we'll talk about it in our Halloween episode, I guess, which we'll record, or will be released the 29th, looking at the calendar. So we'll talk about what's going to go on there. So basically the challenge calendar is going to be a list of 30 challenges. Each day will be a different challenge, and it'll just be random. Just challenging you to do new things, like try a new food or fruit or something like that, or make a new friend But basically, we're gonna do it along with all of you guys, or we're gonna at least attempt to. But basically, we're gonna document what we're doing, and we would love for you guys to document what you're doing, share pictures or comments or whatever you want, whatever you will. But I think it'll be a lot of fun and pretty interesting to see what people do. And are you participating in No Shave November? Is that still a thing? Do people still do that?
I don't know. Sometimes, I guess.
Michael was. I know. I talked to him
Oh, no, he's
earlier.
not.
Yeah, he said he is.
He's shaving it after.
Yeah, 15 days. He said that yesterday. In 15 days, he has to shave so he can get prepared for No Shave November.
Yeah, but he's like, the only reason he's growing the beard is because he's an Amish guy for Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's going as an Amish guy, and then I thought he said he was shaving it after.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I've never been able to grow a beard, at least a little bit till this year. So maybe I was thinking about it. I don't know. But that might be on my challenge calendar. But you have any closing remarks? Anything you want to say to the people, Tubbs?
We're gonna have a lot of interviews coming up.
Oh yeah,
like
we
our
have.
our next like 3 or 4 episodes are gonna be interviews.
Yeah. We have an interview tomorrow at noon, then one Friday at 10 a.m. and then one at noon on the 24th. Yeah.
Is that Wednesday?
Yeah. So Monday, Thursday.
And then the next Monday after.
We'll probably hold that. We'll hold that for
skipping
November.
one.
We'll hold Chase's in. Oh no, it can
we
be
post
Thursday.
Chases, yeah.
Yeah, we'll move one of those. I guess we'll move the victims and villains to Monday or November. Yeah, we can tell them who's going to be in the interviews, I guess.
Yeah.
So on Thursday we have a good friend of ours, at least from high school. We haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but he does radio at 93.7 The Fan. He does like pregame for the Pirates and stuff like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he works for newspapers too. Like
Yeah.
he's a journalist.
Yeah,
also.
but Noah's always been in like broadcasting, and it's definitely been a dream of his because I remember in high school he always talked about it and stuff like that. But it's dope to see him following his dreams, especially somebody so close to him. But yeah, we're gonna have him on and talk to him a little bit tomorrow at noon, which will be when you're hearing this podcast. So we'll probably already have it done by the time you hear this.
It'll be out. That's Monday's episode.
Yeah, it'll be Monday's episode, the 22nd, and then we'll put Chase Tuning, who, if you don't know who that is, it's Max Tuning's brother. But Chase is super dope too. And that's going to be a super interesting interview, I think, because I have some pretty good questions for him. But that'll be out the 25th, right after we do that on the 24th. And then Victims and Villains is this Friday as well at 10 a.m. We have an interview with them. And the host of that's super dope. And they were a promo for one of our episodes. I think it might have been the Fears one. I'm not positive, though. But they want to become a nonprofit, which is super dope. And actually, this is kind of like really far in the future, but in April 12th to the 14th, I'm going to be streaming video games. I don't know if I even told you about this, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
Or yesterday.
Streaming video games for charity, for their Patreon or whatever. They donate to their Patreon, and they're going to donate it to a charity. I'm not. Is there like a month for some disease? Is April like a month or anything like that? How October's like breast cancer awareness?
Let me look. Oh, Jesus. It'd be nice if I could spell April right. I don't know. How would you search that?
I'm not really sure. Because I don't know if there's... Because I know October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. No Shave November is for cancer, isn't it?
So April is... I don't know. That's not even no good. It's like... It says something about occupational therapy, but I don't know if that's actually it.
Yeah. But if not, I mean, I'm sure he's going to donate it somewhere, like of somebody's choosing or his own choosing or something like that. But I think it's super interesting that they're going to become a nonprofit, and we're going to have a pretty good interview with him as well. But that'll be out November 1st, because our Halloween episode will be the 29th. But any closing remarks? Nope. All right. Well, if we've added any value or variety to your day, make sure you download and share the podcast. We've been doing way better with downloads, actually. I forgot to tell you about that before we get on here. Sharing the podcast always helps as well, with your friends, family, coworkers, just random people. Make sure you rate and review us on iTunes. I don't know if you can on Google Play, but if you can, make sure you do. That'd be much appreciated. And if you're watching the podcast, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you check us out on all of our social media and follow us on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And make sure you check out our Patreon. I actually updated our tiers today, so if you guys want to, you can join the tiers and enhance your viewing and listening experience. And like how we said before, check out the blog, the website, stuff like that. And as always, have a positive and productive day.
Welcome to some shit that's considered legendary. I'm here to put